Another big story we're following. The Pentagon says it is investigating U.S. Senator and retired Navy Captain Mark Kelly. It comes after Kelly and other Democratic lawmakers recorded a video in which they reminded service members not to carry out unlawful orders. Today, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth posted a statement saying in part that this investigation could result in recalling Kelly to active duty for court-martial proceedings. Kelly has since responded, saying this is meant to intimidate him and other members of Congress. Joining us tonight to discuss the investigation is U.S. military law expert Philip Cave. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Yeah, good evening.
Can we start with the fact that Defense Secretary Hegseth is saying that he could recall Senator Kelly for court-martial proceedings? Does he have a case to actually do that?
Under the UCMJ, all regular component retirees like Senator Kelly and myself, for that matter, are subject to court-martial jurisdiction for life until we die. And so on that specific point, yes, whether he would be recalled for the full period or for different short terms for hearings is a different administrative question.
So law that pertains to service members, in your case, and civilians are different. Explain to us a little about the Uniform Code of Military Justice and how that pertains to our service members during and after their service.
Sure. Well, the regular concept behind the UCMJ going back ages is to help promote good order and discipline and make sure that a Marine who's ordered to charge up a hill and take it does it. So that's the primary purpose. But as military law has developed, there's a whole swath of other crimes. Lawyers talk about common law crimes such as rape, murder, sexual assaults, burglary, those kind of things, which also can be punished under the UCMJ.
Okay, so the video, I'm sure you've seen it, that Kelly, that Senator was a part of, did not detail a specific order for service members to disobey. What are the rules for service members when it comes to illegal orders? And then who gets to decide whether defying them is justified?
Well, let me start with the basic point that a service member has a duty to obey all legal orders. Okay? In other words, an order that comes from a proper authority, that serves a military purpose and doesn't violate the Constitution, federal law, and occasionally international obligations. So that's the rule. And anyone who disobeys a lawful order, as we say, military lawyers say, acts at their peril. In other words, they could be prosecuted. Mm-hmm. So that's point one. An illegal order, there's a little bit of difference on what defines illegality, but it must be palpably or clearly illegal, number one. And one of the examples that we often give is that it orders somebody to commit a crime. So that would be the bullets, if you will, on the point you're asking.
So in this case, so for the Pentagon now and the Trump administration, what message does this send to troops who do not agree with the current White House or any administration for that matter?
Well, I received training. I gave training on these kind of topics. I prosecuted and defended service members with these type of processes. We already know what that is, that we have to, in certain circumstances, disobey an order that is illegal. One message I'd like to make for you and your audience is this. Do not confuse a moral obligation or a personal preference as justifying disobedience of a lawful order. People are making a serious mistake, and people have been prosecuted in the past. For example, opposition to the Gulf War and refusing to follow orders to deploy. That person was prosecuted, convicted, and received a sentence. So I want to make that absolutely clear here. The difference between a palpably or clearly illegal order and a moral or personal objection, a political objection too. Be very, very careful. That's the message I would prefer. One of the messages I would prefer that your viewers take from our short interview.
And what about the part of the video when these former service members are saying, do not obey illegal orders, though? What about that message and how it resonates with our current troops?
Well, I can say that not that message, but all it really does is restate the law. It's an accurate statement of the law. I appreciate that the context can make it difficult for people to appreciate, but that's a different subject or topic.
All right, U.S. military law expert Philip Cave, thanks for joining us tonight. We appreciate your insight.
You're welcome. Take care.
You too. Well, service members looking to understand more about their options when faced with orders they believe may not be legal can visit ordersproject.com. The nonpartisan program was created by the National Institute of Military Justice to connect military personnel with experienced attorneys.